Big moments over the weekend. Race to World First finally completed. We'll check those highlights out in a second here. Also, World PvP returning in midnight. Best believe it. Yes, some big features announced over the weekend that we'll talk about, including level squishes, World PvP, and so much more. So let's just jump straight in here. Oh, watching the news? No, you're not. You're watching the next big giveaway. That's right. I'm giving away an epic edition of Midnight. All you have to do to enter into my giveaway is get into the stream. 1 hour of stream will give you 1 point to enter to the giveaway. Watching this shitty stream is all it's going to take. I'm live 5 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Get in here, watch some stream, get yourself some Trader's Tenders, some pets, some mounts, and all the other cool early access features that'll come with the Midnight Epic Edition. Again, being a follower is all you got to do, and watching the stream. If you're a subscriber, you'll get a couple extra entries, but not required. You'll get all the mounts, the game time, the toys, and early access to the expansion, housing access, everything else. It's going to be a good one, boys. Midnight's here. WoW is back. The hype is real. Get in here, watch the stream, get your point, and every hour beyond that, another point to enter into the giveaway, giving yourself the best shot possible. The giveaway ends September 19th. You got a month to gather as many points as you can to enter in and get yourself the epic edition of Midnight. Buckle up, boys. It's going to be a good one. Victorious Nerd Scream. So I'm going to click these highlights real quick. We'll check them out, and we can just watch the moment where Team Liquid won the Race to World First right here.
1% left up on the boss. Point 2. Kill the boss. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I mean, that's peak male performance. Truly peak male performance right there. After Echo had 2 back-to-back deaths at 0%. Point something percent, 2 deaths in a row. Sam broke it. I called Echo to win it. And they almost did.
Oh my god. They have worked so hard for this moment.
Look how happy they are. It's fun to watch.
Lest we forget,
how many pulls? 385. 385 pulls.
2%, 0.3%.
Yeah.
While Liquid was wiping in phase 1. Then they wiped in phase 1 again. Then they had a really poor
insane
wipe in phase
because
3, and they said,
Echo literally had 2 deaths below 1%.
From the break, and they are the world first guild, the Coinbase world first guild to kill Dimensius.
Dude, that was so clutch. We thought that they were going to have a 1% wipe. They were able to go into that
Yeah.
last phase with 3 battle reses. That was so clutch.
The B reses came in clutch.
THG, Atlas, and Cine Res, knowing that you didn't need Timbermaw, you just had to burn the boss. That was
First
it.
in the
Oh my
world,
God.
first of the region.
Oh, they
What a
deserve
moment.
this so much. It's been honestly like such an honor to see them work so hard. This is
All the stress, all the everything, it paid off in the end, and yes, they did get the Race to World First clear. First time ever that a guild clears the entirety of the expansion. 3 sweeped, they got it clean, and almost did it, like I said. So their comp at the very end, here it is. This is what they ended up finishing with. Yes, they actually worked with a Blood DK here, so Prot Warrior remained steady the entire raid almost as the go-to tank, but Brewmaster Monk was also accompanying it most of the raid until the very end, where they went with the big dick. That's right. A good old Sand Lane Blood DK. My favorite, the class I play, and the most epic class you can play in the game. Besides that, you got 4 healers, a bunch of ranged, and 4 melee DPS. If you look at that final phase in Mythic, it's intense. I mean, those orbs are... There's not a lot of room to DPS in that room, so it's pretty damn hard. And yes, working as range probably a bit easier because you can work around much easier than, say, melee, who has to kind of stay close to the boss. Now, Sam, Race to World AOTC. That's right, we're going to get there. How long are you going to stall before we raid? As long as I possibly can. The Prey mechanic was also announced over the weekend, and we saw this actually announced when Ian and everybody announced the Midnight expansion. We wondered, what is the Prey mechanic? What is this thing? Well, they got more into it. We already knew this, that there was 3 tiers of it, normal, hard, and nightmare. The one thing that's been confirmed that we have evidently thought wasn't the case at first was this was just going to be a cosmetic thing. Turns out it's not. This is actually something that you would be able to work towards your greater your vault rewards with. So working through nightmare, hard, or normal can actually get you up to heroic level eye level gear, in your vault. There's also a fully new world PvP section of the map. So if you guys know, we're getting a new PvP map, right? There's a new PvP mode in the game. It's kind of like a push the crate or push the vault. There's going to be capture points, Alliance side and Horde side, and there'll be one neutral site in the middle. You'll be pushing up the side. How do I describe it? It's kind of like a MOBA, where you're pushing up a lane, but there's a single lane. Both sides are going to be pushing. That map is actually going to give you another version of it in World PvP. And Blizzard described it, yeah, we'll see how that goes, exactly. Blizzard described it as a fun opt-in. You know, you opt in for World PvP, obviously, by turning on World PvP. But they said there'll be also be rewards to have from that. So there you go. A bunch of new PvP and World PvP stuff coming into the game. I'm very excited for, personally. I've been asking for more World PvP in this game since I'm an old Winter Grasp enjoyer. We'll see how this whole new zone works out. I'll put some pictures up later when I'm editing this thing, but there are pictures out there of the new World PvP map. And it'll be pretty cool to check it out and see how that all goes. Apex talents, we already knew this and talked about it briefly, that there would be new hero talents coming and new talent points being given. So every class will be getting 10 new talent points to distribute throughout their talent trees in Midnight. We'll also be getting some really cool new Apex talents. That's right, new power-ups for every single class. So there will be new Apex talents in your spec tree. It is a unique multi-talent, multi-rank node. So this single talent will be something that you will be able to add into and rank up multiple times. So the way they kind of showed it was a single talent with 3 little dots, and you could rank that thing up all the way to, you know, cap level of whatever that talent is. It's a unique multi-talent. It has 4 talents that you can put into it. Each point should feel very impactful, especially the first one and the last node. Very gameplay impacting changes to signature abilities for your spec. For Devour Demon Hunter, the first point in the node is Collapsing Star, which always crits. The second and third increase your void and cosmic damage, and the fourth node gives you a scale on your crit damage. So there you go. It basically, you know, empowers that ability more and more every time you add a point into it, up to 4 total points. It is not required to put the extra points in the Apex talents, but strongly encouraged. So a bit more variety, maybe, but I think people are always going to cap those things out no matter what. As for Demon Hunter, yes, they got more into the Void Demon Hunter specs that will be unlocked as part of a pre-patch sort quest. So you will be able to unlock Void Elf Demon Hunters and the new spec in pre-patch and test that thing out. They are aware that this creates an imbalance for the Horde and Alliance, but they did say there will be a good story fit later on to get those, maybe another Demon Hunter spec on the Horde side or Demon Hunter enabled class. I mean, I don't know who else would be. They got more elves on the Horde side now, so we'll see if our friends from Suramar will be able to eventually become Demon Hunters. The World Soul Saga is not over yet. There are a few cool stories that fit race class combinations, so they did say that more race class combinations will be added to the game, potentially during Midnight. For Devour Demon Hunter, it's a mid-range, we already know that, like Evokers. It's actually got 2 play styles. One that plays mid-range like a caster, but the other is more hybrid, dashing in and out of melee combat. There is no green abilities at all. It's all voidy looking, so if you really want to get into the void, that's your way to play. Annihilator hero talents. So what is this? The Vengeance Demon Hunter hero talent, name pending. I guess we'll see how that ends up fleshing out in the very end. The leading contender is Annihilator. Vengeance Demon Hunter will share hero talents with Devour and Felscard. And the tree calls itself Void Comments from Devour to Fell Meteors for Vengeance. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, more hero talent stuff. A lot of hero talent changes coming in for every class, not just the new class. So we'll see. Raids. March on Quell Danas is unlocked a couple weeks after Void Spear. So we know we're getting 3 raid tiers in the first set of raids. And yes, they will not all be unlocked at the very beginning. These will be unlocked kind of in stages, with each one increasing in difficulty and gear drops. So that's cool. A 3 raid part to the same tier. 1 boss raid's difficulty is expected to be in the middle of the difficulty curve of Void Spear. So there you go, increasing difficulty. I'm assuming the item level will go up just a little bit. It should be part of the same raid tier, as they said. But I'm expecting, you know, how do you motivate players to play? Well, you got to give them better gear. Open World and Prey. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. Prey has some really cool rewards. Nightmare difficulty can be expected to be about the same difficulty as more difficult delves. And there will also be power rewards that will mix in with rows you get from your delves. So there you go. Mix in with the rows you get from your delves. So also affecting, I guess, your delves part. of your tree in terms of vault rewards. So there you go. I heard gear. Yeah, gear will be dropping from this prey system. Officially, people thought that it was only going to be a cosmetic thing, but no, you will be getting gear from this. Also, there is a fully new world PvP stuff that will be giving you gear as well. Tank and healer shortage. They see the challenges. That's right. Only Giga Chads can really tank in this game these days. Hello, I'm one of them. They see the challenges in finding groups. It's really affecting everyone. In Midnight, they're focusing on making the queuing experience better and easier to find groups you're looking for. They want someone who's posting a group to be able to share what their intent is on how to, and then allow people to search for the groups to be able to filter for that. Playing tank and healer is a big ask. They do have some plans in wanting to make tanks and healers more approachable and forgiving down the road. Yeah, Blizzard just re-freaking tuned tanks to back what they were like in early Dragonflight or something. I don't get these changes that they put in, made tanks so squishy and made it 100 times more difficult to tank. They also say playing tanks should be fun. You should be able to do damage. You should be able to live forever. Thank God. Finally, they're listening. But you have to be able to die at some point, or else you will never die in raid. That's fine. Yeah, make some mechanics that can kill a tank. But overall, we should not be dying to 5-man pulls. We should not be dying to random ass shit. Okay, you let the tank die because the healer doesn't heal him enough. Yeah, that's a bad feeling. Tanks are pretty much self-sustaining for the most part, as they should be. They're giant Giga Chads running through shit. And if everybody in the group dies, oftentimes it makes sense for the tank to let himself die. So having to kill off the tank shouldn't be a requirement for you to require other people to be with them. Always blame the tank. Yeah, as people do. Weak aura requirements, not necessary. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about some additional stuff that Blizzard's bringing in here. Blizzard launching their own DPS meters and nameplates. That's right, and boss mechanic announcements. Yes, Blizzard went into it. They're going in deeper on the war on add-ons, continuing on forward with that. And nameplates, damage meters, and no more DBM, basically. Coming soon to a game near you. Damage meters. An official World of Warcraft damage meter is coming to WoW. You can have multiple panels which can show healing, damage, etc. Blizzard also said that sometimes where damage meters currently have issues with cross-server stuff, or maybe somebody's sharded in a different whatever version of a fight or something, and it kind of causes issues with the damage meters, they said theirs will be basically perfect. It will always be able to track damage because they can use their own internal tools to make sure things are tracked to a T. Remember the issues with Preservation Evoker, or not Preservation, Augmentation when that first came out? Wasn't Blizzard basically saying, hey, we made this game, we're going to give you the most accurate damage meters possible. And I believe it. Yeah, why not? It makes sense. They have access to all the stats and numbers anyway, so putting it out there at a meter should be the best version of damage meters we've ever seen. Enemy nameplates. They're going to be a lot of presets. Classic-inspired, purple and big, modernized, and many other options. They improve how threat works. There's a fire effect where you're going to be pulling threat on mobs. There's also an indicator when a mob goes behind you. Also, they showed the nameplates and they said, we want to indicate to you when an ability that is going to be cast is going to destroy you. Okay, so they'll be able to tell you basically, they said by enlarging it, changing its color, they want you to know what should be interrupted. So by creating these nameplates, these dynamic nameplates as they're calling them, they will be able to show you what the most important interrupts are in every single pull, and you shouldn't miss an interrupt anymore. And it may be, hopefully. People still tunnel vision in this game sometimes. But yes, they're basically telling you that their nameplates will be highly customizable and very, very informative, so this is good to see. Blizzard stuff is always broken on release. Yeah, I did say it'd be great on release. I just said eventually maybe it'll be some of the best we've seen. And then boss timers. There will be a timeline showing boss abilities, what's coming up next in the UI. They're starting to improve raid and combat UI, and they did say there will be callouts, alerts, sound effects, and everything else that you expect with your boss add-ons that we currently have in the game. For Transmog, yes, a revamped window for Transmog, more organized and bigger, and they introduced outfits, which is essentially like zone-locked or activity-locked Transmogs. So yes, you walk into your home, automatically a Transmog is equipped. You walk into a dungeon, automatically a different one is equipped. Now, you could change this all the time, or you can leave it as is and just always have your single transmog on, but I think this is really cool, having specific transmogs for specific things, like walking through a city or entering a raid. A nice little twist on transmogs for us. Also, we already know transmog's going to be free, and another thing, they talked about how when you get a new piece of gear, You put it on yourself in a raid, and all of a sudden your transmog's broken. Well, they said that'll no longer be the case. Now, automatically, when you equip gear, it'll automatically transmog to whatever you had for that specific slot. So this is really cool. I think these are nice changes to transmog. Honestly, transmog, it's controversial, but one of the most popular features in the game. It's something people chase all the time, so it's nice to see them updating it. There's a cost for the initial setup for each slot. Okay, there you go. So a cost for the initial setup, but then it's continually free after that. Butt naked Exmog when you go home. Yeah, I'm sure people will do it. For player housing, here we go. Player housing is something we already know. Yes, coming in the timeline. They didn't just want to do the bare minimum. They wanted to exceed expectations. There's a lot of new technology being implemented for player housing. They stated they're working on some assets all the way back from Legion. They made a brand new UI for player housing, which we've seen samples of from the floor at GamesCon. There is a house chest that is your collection. They wanted to make sure that you are able to find things you want, so they have filters and keyboard searches to work right through that. There are also there will be over 1,000 decor items when this thing launches. It is someone's job to find the perfect place for all the decor items to drop. Oh man, there you go. And then outdoor worlds, as I mentioned earlier, there is an outside area where you can add decorations as well. Oh, to player housing, similar to the barber shop. You're going to have a full house with options on the right, and then you can add towers or other elements to your house. Okay, that's pretty cool. So literally changing the outer look of your house. There are 4 exterior kits at launch: Orc, Human, Blood Elf, and Night Elf. But they're hoping to add more. I didn't realize we were getting Night Elf as well, so that's cool. Endeavors. What are endeavors? The goal with endeavors is to send you from your neighborhood back into Azeroth, so they don't want people degeneratively just sitting in their neighborhoods all day. It's a cross between world quests and trading post log, but just for your neighborhood. Endeavors are themed around different culture visiting your neighborhood, different cultures visit your neighborhood, and you can access endeavors from anywhere. So there you go. More stuff for player housing and a ton more stuff coming in midnight. What else we got here? Stat squishes. That's right, stat squishes are coming. So there will not be a level squish. We already know we are going up to level 90 here, which means probably with the last Titan, we'll cap out at level 100. But going up to level 90 does not mean there won't be a stat squish. In fact, Blizzard said that there will be a stat squish and eye level squish coming in midnight. They are working on previous squishes going from level 700 item level-ish to somewhere around the 100s. So bringing us back down to the hundreds, I guess. Damage numbers are expected to go down from to hundreds from thousands. So yeah, bringing numbers down, bringing stats down. I'm always fine with this. I think yeah, the numbers do get kind of bloated, especially when we had the recent event. What was it, the power up event or whatever the hell they called it, where we got higher item level gear in the middle of a season. I mean, with all that stuff going on, plus raid tier and everything else increasing, we had some big jumps in item level over this expansion. So yeah, it's probably time for a level squish. Stomp your competition at midnight. That's right, Com Stomp coming back as well. So for you PvP enjoyers who don't like to actually PvP against another PP, you can go ahead and do so now against bots for an eternity. Okay, Com Stomp was an AI triggered, 10 people against some bots fighting in a Com Stomp. A nice way to get a bunch of PvP achievements if you don't want to actually PvP. As I mentioned before, this change coming and a completely new PvP arena coming in this expansion. Not arena in terms of Gladiator, but arena in terms of a new mode of PvP coming very soon, a new PvP matchup. So PvP finally getting some love in Midnight. That's right, Sylvanas returning. Probably lesser news for me. I don't really care to see Sylvanas again, but yeah, most likely she is returning. It has essentially been confirmed that Sylvanas will return, as the other Windrunner sisters already are, so this makes sense. We're probably going to have some, janky team up. All 3 Windrunner sisters in a single scene where they're fighting against God knows what, Xalatath or something else. Should be a fun moment. Probably a cinematic or something like that. We already know we're getting Windrunner Tower as another dungeon, so that'll be something where we'll probably see some remnants of the Windrunner sisters in there. And moving forward, if you like yourself some Windrunner lore or some hot elf chicks, yeah, this will certainly satiate that appetite. Pre-order for housing. We already talked about this. You don't have to pre-order the Epic Edition, which I'm giving away. Hey, you just got to watch 1 hour stream. But you don't have to pre-order that to get yourself player housing access. What you are going to get in the Epic Edition, though, is some really cool decorations. And evidently, these decorations will later be made to be available via gold as well. So you can get multiple decorations of the same decoration. If you don't already know this, essentially the way player housing works is you get an item, you only have one of that item. You are not going to be able to place the same Onyxia dragon head on the wall 13 times. So you are going to get these fountains, as I'm showing here. This light infused fountain with the epic edition, the void one, this light infused rotunda, and then this void version, and these portraits on the wall. You're only going to get one of each. If you want to have dual fountains as you enter your player housing zone, you have to get another one. You can't just place the same fountain down twice. That's not how player housing is going to work. So I guess these will be available for purchase at some point. That was what Blizzard said. Nobody knows if this will be available for purchase for people who did not get the Epic Edition and unlock this item already, or if this will only be for people who got the Epic Edition originally and can now buy this again. Nox. Thank you for the follow, man. Welcome to our Scourge. So nobody really knows how this is going to work in terms of that kind of stuff. What we do know is that eventually you will be able to purchase more of them. That's for sure. So yeah, multiple fountains, multiple rotundas, and multiple portraits of Zally Mommy all over your house will be something that you'll be able to do. We'll see how, if they eventually do make, I wouldn't mind if they make it available to every version of the game later on, but they might only lock it to Epic Edition, which is okay if you win my contest and you get yourself an Epic Edition. Midnight Alpha begins in a few weeks. What does that mean for the launch of Midnight? Well, let's find out here. As we look at previous dates and everything else, we already know Midnight Alpha is going to give us the Devouring Demon Hunter. It's going to give you the all-new talents and a bunch of other things to play through as you play through the original Alpha version of the game. And we're still going to get a lot of this shit in the pre-launch, or the pre-patch, I should say, for this zone. Getting all the zones and everything else to play with should be fun, but what does it mean for the eventual Midnight release? Well, here we go. So right now, when you pre-order the game, it tells you it'll be available before June 30th. And again, this is just a legal clause that they have to put in as a somewhat, some countries require that if there's going to be a pre-order, you have to give them a soft launch date, essentially. So this doesn't actually mean anything. We're going to get it way before this. But looking back at other expansions, we can actually see the date that happened the month before the launch before date. So here we go, looking here, we see the War Within. They said it would launch before August 26th. It launched in December. So, they said it would launch in December. It launched in August. So, whereas previously it was always a month before, here we actually got way before. So, looking here, if we kind of work with the War Within, which is the new cadence for releases of expansions, right? They've gotten faster since the end of Dragonflight into the War Within and now into Midnight. These are faster release schedules. So if we look here, with these dates in mind, especially the War Within, the actual launch date of Midnight is much more likely to happen earlier 2026, which I agree with. Arcanus, thank you for the follow-up to our Scourge. Looking at the patch cadence for the War Within, it is assumed that the current Season 3 is going to last about 6 months, as did Season 1 and Season 2. We will have to, if this holds true, we'll have a release date of around February 2026, 4 months earlier than the June 30th date. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying end of January, early February, most likely we will see the launch of Midnight Expansion. I still hold true to that. I think that's when we're going to get this thing, which would put pre-patch probably in January, right? We'll get pre-patch in January. Holiday time, I don't know if they would release a pre-patch in December. Maybe we'll get pre-patch December so you can have player housing throughout the entirety of Christmas break, getting all cozy around the fireplace with your automatically equipped Santa Claus elf transmog. Maybe. That could be the thing. So March, no, I don't think so. It's going to be February. I would bet money on it at this point that it's going to be that February, January timeline. As for pre-patch or pre-launch, yeah, probably December. I guess you could say it could be December. They probably would like to say that. Early 2026? Yeah, it's going to be early 2026. That's the date that lines up here. And if you're saying early in corporate terms, that's first quarter. So January, February, March has to be the timeline for that. And I think February is a good bet there. Is there a Santa Claus in your country in Canada? Jesus Christ, I live in Detroit, Michigan. Anyways, yeah, we'll see if this ends up happening. Lots of cool stuff coming in Midnight for sure. And that is all in terms of news.